Hello my dear students, how are you? Hope you all are doing good at your home. So in our previous video we have discussed about the plant tissue, but this time we are going to discuss about the animal tissues. As you know that animal tissues are classified into four types based on the functions they perform. So what are the animal tissues? What are the types of animal tissues? Animal tissues are classified as epithelial tissues, muscular tissues, connective tissues and nervous tissue. But in this chapter we are going to only discuss about the epithelial tissue and muscular tissue, as this topic is very lengthy. So in this video we will discuss only the types of epithelial tissue, just like squamous epithelial tissue, cuboidal epithelial tissue, columnar epithelial tissue, ciliated epithelial tissue and glandular epithelial tissue. Apart from the epithelial tissue, we will also discuss the various type of muscular tissues, just like striated muscles, smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. So are you ready? Let's begin in this chapter. So first we are going to discuss about the epithelial tissue. What is the meaning of word epithelial? Epi means outer, okay, or upper. So epithelial tissue remains at the as a covering around each and every body part, okay. So they form the covering of the external surfaces, internal cavities and organs of the animal body. You know cavities are the hollow spaces filled or empty, either filled or empty, present inside our body. So these hollow spaces are known as cavities, okay. So epithelial tissue cells are tightly packed and form a continuous sheet, okay, like a covering. The skin, the lining of mouth, the lining of blood vessels, alveoli, kidney tubules, all are made up of epithelial tissue. So first we are going to discuss the various types of epithelial tissue. So various types of epithelial tissues are as follows. First type of epithelial tissue is simple squamous epithelium. Okay, in lining of blood vessels, or lung alveoli, where transportation of substance occur through a selective permeable surface, there is a simple flat and extremely thin kind of epithelium remain present, which is known as simple squamous epithelium tissue. Squamous means flat. In this image you can easily see that this is the diagram of squamous epithelial tissue. In this layer you can see that the flat type of cells are present, okay, and only single layer is present, that is why it is called simple. And flat, due to the presence of flat cells, it is known as squamous, okay. So it is a type of simple squamous epithelial tissue. It is found in the lining of mouth, as you can see here. It is also found in the inner surface of the esophagus. Here in this diagram you can see it is also present inner and outer side of the lung. It is also present as a covering inside the alveoli, which are the balloon like structure present inside the lung, which is responsible for the transportation of gaseous exchange or transportation of carbon dioxide and oxygen, okay. Next, the second type of epithelial tissue is stratified squamous epithelial tissue. What is the difference between simple and stratified squamous epithelium tissue? In simple epithelial tissue, you must have observed there was only single layer present, but here multiple layers are present in this diagram. So that is why it is called stratified squamous epithelial tissue. But here the cells are also flat. So that is why they are squamous. Why they are called stratified? Due to the multiple layers. Due to the multiple layers they are called stratified. Due to the flat cells they are called squamous. Okay. So the skin which protects the body, it also made up of squamous epithelial. Skin epithelial cells are arranged in many layers to prevent wear and tear. Since they are arranged in a pattern of layer, the epithelium is called the stratified squamous epithelium. In this diagram you can see the various layers of the skin. This is the uppermost layer, which is known as stratum corneum, then epidermis is present, then dermis is present, then hypodermis is present. So there are multiple layers present in a skin. So that is why it is a kind of stratified squamous epithelial tissue. The next type of epithelium tissue is cuboidal epithelium. As the name suggests, cuboidal, cube-like cells are present in this kind of tissue. You can easily observe here in this diagram, each and every cell has a shape of a cube. Okay, so this is cuboidal in shape and forms the lining of kidney tubules. Here in this diagram you can see that the outermost layer present, it is made up of cuboidal epithelium, and it is also present in the duct of salivary gland. In this diagram here, these three pairs of salivary glands are present: parotid gland, submandibular and sublingual. So all the salivary glands are lined by the cuboidal epithelium. In some cases, a portion of epithelial tissue folds inward to form a multicellular gland. In this diagram you can see that these cuboidal cells fold inward and start secreting some valuable fluid. So that is why these tissues are known as glandular epithelium. It performs the function of secretion and absorption. So glandular epithelium starts secreting hormones or enzyme. Okay. So in higher classes we will study in detail about the glandular epithelium. Next type of the epithelium tissue is columnar epithelium. Okay, what are these type of tissue? In columnar epithelium, the cells are like a column, like a pillar like cells are present. Here in this diagram you can easily see that each cell has a shape of a pillar or a column. So that is why this is called the columnar epithelium, where absorption and secretion occurs. As in the inner lining of the intestine, tall epithelial cells are present and are named as columnar epithelium. In respiratory tract, on the outer surface of the epithelial cells, there are hair-like projection in the respiratory tract. Here in this diagram, the special type of columnar epithelium is present, which has the thread-like structure, cilia-like structure present on the outer surface of it. So that is why these hair-like structure are called cilia. So these cilia can move, and their movement pushes the mucus forward to clear it. This type of epithelium is known as ciliated columnar epithelium. If cilia-like structure are present on the outer surface of a columnar epithelium, it will be known as ciliated columnar epithelium. Why it is known as ciliated? Because due to the presence of hair-like structure. Why it is called columnar? Due to the presence of column-like cells. Okay, so these remain present inside the inside our intestine. These are the villi or villus, and as well as these are present inside the respiratory tract. Now we will discuss about the functions of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues, there are inside our body various kind of epithelial tissues are present. As you can see these images, these are different from each other that we have learned so far. So what are the function? They perform the various functions. Just like epithelium covers the most organ and cavities within the body. So main function of the epithelium tissue is covering. It also performs a barrier to keep the different body systems separate. It helps in keeping the different body systems separate from each other. Okay, through its packaging nature. Okay, the permeability of the cell of the various epithelia plays an important role in regulating the exchange of material between the body and the external environment. As you know that these tissues remain present in the respiratory tract, in the digestive tract. So these are very helpful in the exchange of certain things from the external environment to the body. Okay, now that is enough about the epithelial tissue. Now we are going to discuss about the second category of the animal tissue, which is the muscular tissue. Next, muscular tissue. Muscular tissue consists of elongated cells which are known as muscle fiber. In this diagram here you can see that this is a structure of a muscle fiber. So all the muscles are made up of this unit which is known as muscle fiber. This tissue is responsible for the movement in our body. We can move only due to the presence of muscular tissue inside our body. Okay, main function of the muscular tissue is to provide the movement to the body. As you already know that muscles contain a special protein called the contractile protein. Do you know the function of this type of protein? This protein means contractile protein helps in the contraction and relaxation of the muscle which cause the movement. Okay, let us know some more points about the muscular tissue. So muscular tissues are of three types. One by one we will discuss each and every type. So first type of the muscular tissue is striated muscles, which are also known as skeletal muscle, and they are also known as voluntary muscle. We will reveal the meaning of all these three names, why they are called striated, why they are called skeletal, why they are called voluntary. We will discuss each and everything, okay, one by one. These muscles are also known as skeletal muscle, as they are mostly attached to the bone. Okay, here in this diagram you can see that these muscles remain attached with the bones in our biceps and triceps. Okay, the muscles which is present around the ribs, around our biceps and triceps, inside our leg. So these muscles always remain attached with the bone. That is why they are called skeletal muscle. Next point, why they are called striated? Because these muscles, the muscle fiber present in these muscles have the dark bands, and these dark bands are known as striations. So due to the presence of striations, they are called the striated muscle. Why they are called voluntary? Because they can we can move, or we can use these muscles as per our will. Okay, so that is why they are called voluntary muscle. If we want to move our hand, I can move my hand. Okay, if we want to stop our hand, I can stop my hand anytime. So the muscle of my hand is already under my will, under my control. That is why it is called voluntary muscle. It helps in the movement of the body. Cells are cylindrical, unbranched and multinucleated. So here you can see that this is the single cell of a muscle. Okay, so these cells are cylindrical, as you can see this in this diagram, and these are unbranched. They are separated from each other, they are not branched, and they are multinucleated. You can see that various nucleus, numerous nucleus are present here in this diagram. So these are the multinucleated structure. Next category. Next category of the muscular tissue is smooth muscles or involuntary muscles. They are found in the iris of the eye, okay, in ureters and in the bronchi of the lungs. Cells are long, spindle shapes, possess a single nucleus. Okay, here in this diagram you can see that these cells are cylindrical cells, and these are the single cell that contains only one nucleus, and they are spindle shape, means they are narrow at both the ends. Their ends are taper, narrow ends. So that is why they are called spindle shape. Okay, and these muscles are not directly under our control. That is why they are called the involuntary muscles. They remain present inside the kidney, lungs, etc., bronchus, iris. So these muscles, here you can see that the iris, these are the this is the iris of our eye. So inside the iris the involuntary muscles are present. So they automatically works according to the intensity of light entering into it. Okay, next category, cardiac muscle or involuntary muscle. They help in the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart. They are cylindrical, branched and uninucleated. Okay, so these are the cylindrical cells present in the cardiac muscle. They are branched, as you can see that different branches arises from this structure. So they are the branch and they are uninucleated inside one cell. This is one cell, only one nucleus is present here. This is the nucleus of another cell. Okay, and one more important thing, even though they are involuntary but they are striated because striations are present. So this is the special type of striated muscle which are involuntary. Earlier we have studied that striated muscles are voluntary because they are skeletal muscle, but cardiac muscle is an exception because even though they are striated muscle but they are involuntary and they only remain present inside the heart. That is why they are called the cardiac muscle. Okay, one more important point, they never tired. Okay, they keep on working 24/7 till our death, from the birth. Okay, so these are the special type of muscle which remain present only inside the heart. So in this video we have discussed both types of animal tissue. In the next video we will discuss about the rest two tissues, means the connective tissue and the nervous tissue. Till then, bye bye, stay healthy, stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Thank you.